I'm Mandy. Please like and subscribe, and tomorrow you will have the best news. Growing up, we moved around a lot because my parents were journalists. I got really good at making friends quickly, but holding on to any of them was tough since I always ended up leaving, no matter how many of my so-called besties promised they'd stay in touch. After a while, they never did. It was heartbreaking every time. One day, Mom came home with big news. She got a job in Washington, D.C. for a national newspaper, and we wouldn't have to move anymore. I was so excited. Finally, I would have rooms of our own to decorate, make friends that would last. It was a dream. When I started at my new high school, I was nervous. I had to make an amazing first impression because this one had to stick. When I sat down at my desk in the homeroom, the other kids looked at me like I was an alien until a pretty brunette girl sat down next to me.
Hey, I'm Jasmine. Love your jeans. Where'd you get them?
A thrift store in New York.
Oh my god. Is that where you're from?
Sort of. I told her all about life on the road, and we hit it off right away. I could tell she was popular, and it was easy to see why. Very involved in all sorts of clubs and sports. So charming, and top 2 of our class. She was always competing for the top spot against this one kid, Chase. She warned me about how annoying he was, and I totally agreed. I was stuck next to him in math class, and he was always talking and distracting me from taking notes. From the second we met, Jasmine invited me everywhere with her and her friends. We did our homework together, ate lunch, had sleepovers. It was amazing! Soon after I started school, Jasmine convinced me to come to her French club to see if I wanted to join. She introduced me to her friend Camille, and we had so much fun. We watched French movies and practiced speaking with each other. I joined immediately. They were going to choose 2 students for a summer study abroad in Paris. I just knew it would be a really smart move for my future. One day, I went to Camille's house to study with her, and suddenly, the cutest boy I'd ever seen walked into her kitchen.
Hey, butthead.
Excuse me?
Sorry, that was meant for my dumb little sister.
Ugh, don't listen to him.
I'm Ryan. You must be the famous Mandy I've heard so much about.
Don't you have somewhere else to be?
Nowhere better than right where Mandy is.
Then he smiled the most perfect smile I'd ever seen. I could have melted into a puddle right there. The next day at French Club, I told Jasmine all about him. Oh my god, Jazz, he's on the soccer team. Good at school.
Wow, he sounds like...
He perfect package. OMG, he's here. She turned to see Ryan walk into the room right then suddenly. Her eyes turned to ice in front of me.
Ryan? He's my ex.
Oh.
But I mean, if you like him, I guess.
No, of course I wouldn't.
Oh, good, because it'd be so weird. I'm so glad we're friends.
What are you all talking about?
Oh, nothing. It's nice to see you again.
Since when are you in French Club?
Since I found out Mandy joined.
It was so awkward I thought I'd die. Just then, Madame Delacroix clapped her hands.
For announcement time for our upcoming Parents' Night, we will be breaking off into pairs to research and cook a classic French dish.
She started group. And surprise! Surprise! I got paired with Ryan. For just a second, I thought I could see the ice return to Jasmine's eyes, but she blinked, and it was gone. I felt sort of guilty that I'd be spending so much time with Ryan, but I vowed to keep my promise to Jasmine. Soon after that, I got assigned to help Chase hand out awards at the banquet. Hanging out with him all night would be the perfect punishment for me. A few days later, Ryan and I had to get together at his house to make chocolate mousse, my favorite.
Have you ever made this before?
No, but I've watched my dad make it, so I think Then I started the mixer. It started whipping everything up so fast that our chocolate mixture started flying out of the bowl. Soon we were both covered in chocolate. I was mortified, but Ryan just laughed and swiped some chocolate off my nose.
Looks good to me.
After we got cleaned up, we managed to make a second batch just in time to make it to the event. Madame Delacroix tasted every dish and said ours was the best of all of them. I was pretty proud, and I hoped it would get me some extra points toward the Paris program. Not even having to sit next to Chatterbox Chase all night could ruin my mood. After that, Ryan started asking me to hang out more and more. Soccer games, study sessions, sometimes even trips for ice cream. He was really funny, and we liked all the same books. I could tell he liked me, and I was really starting to like him. But I couldn't betray Jasmine. When I told my mom about it, she thought I was being ridiculous.
I don't think Jasmine really has your best interests at heart, Mandy.
She was my first friend here.
But that doesn't make her a good friend. What kind of friend keeps you from being with someone you really like?
It's girl code. So I was definitely surprised the next day, at lunch, when our group started talking about boys to hear Jasmine exclaim,
Who needs them? I've so moved on from Ryan. I mean, we only dated a few weeks anyway. Mandy, you can have him for all I care.
I was elated to hear her say that, but now I was nervous. I'd never really pursued anyone before, but all the signs were there, and I decided to go for it. Soon after, Ryan hurt his ankle at a soccer match and had to leave the field. We lost. I decided to visit him the next day, especially now that Jazz had given her blessing. When I walked into his living room with some cheery daisies, his whole face lit up, and he pulled me down to the couch in a huge hug. When we pulled away, I felt like I was falling into his beautiful brown eyes. I thought for just a second I might get my first real kiss, but I chickened out. I brought some ice cream too for Sundays.
You're the best, you know that?
We watched TV and ate way too much ice cream, but things felt a little different. He was texting almost constantly, when he usually was always talking to me non-stop. I wondered if I had ruined things by pulling away earlier. I tried to ignore it, but when my mom came to get me, I was sort of glad to leave. For the next few days, I tried to keep my head down and work hard towards the Paris trip, but I was glad for the distraction when Jasmine announced her birthday party to the whole class.
Arcade this weekend. My birthday wish list is on all the invites.
You going?
Of course, Jazz is my best friend.
Sure she is.
Cryptic much? You're so weird. I caught up with her in the hallway after. Can I hitch a ride to your party? This will be so fun. I already have your gift.
My carpool is full already.
Oh, okay. I'll just... But she was already halfway down the hall, leaving me in her dust. I figured she was just distracted about her party and tried not to think about her weird behavior. I texted Ryan to see if he and Shamil wanted to carpool, but all I got were 3 typing bubbles in response, and then nothing. In fact, I didn't hear anything from anyone all weekend. What was going on Saturday, when my mom dropped me off at arcade, a gift in hand for Jasmine, I pasted a big smile on my face as I got out of the car. Chase waved to me and smiled. He really wasn't so annoying, maybe just a little awkward. As we walked into the party room, imagine my shock when I saw Jasmine's stick standing there holding hands with none other than Ryan. A pit dropped to the bottom of my stomach. When she leaned over to kiss him, I thought I'd die. All I wanted to do was run home and curl up under the covers, but I couldn't. It was Jasmine's birthday, my best friend. Still, I was mortified. Everyone knew I liked him, and they had all seen us spend so much time together. Now, he wouldn't even look at me. As everyone started pairing off and heading to the arcade, I realized I didn't have a partner. Blinking back tears, I suddenly felt a warm hand on my shoulder.
Hey, let's pair up for a round.
Sure. Chase and I played through, and even though I had a pit in my stomach, we actually had a lot of fun. He was pretty good, and even when I danced offbeat, he pretended not to see it. When we went inside for Jasmine's cake, I tried to put on a brave face, but when Ryan leaned over to help her blow out her birthday candles and Jasmine turned to smile at me with a gleam in her eye like nothing was wrong, I knew I had to leave. I snuck out to the bathroom to call my mom to get me, and as soon as I got into her car, I burst into tears and cried all the way home. And even though Chase texted me to check on me, and Camille did too, the one person who I actually thought would worry enough to reach out never did. I didn't hear from Jasmine until Monday, in homeroom.
Mandy, why'd you leave my party? The cake was so good.
Why did I leave? Jasmine?
What?
You have to know why I left.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You knew I liked Ryan. You told me you'd moved on, and all of a sudden you show up with him without telling me.
How can you be mad? He was my boyfriend.
Your ex-boyfriend that you said I could pursue. Why tell me that if you wanted him back all along?
See, this is why we kept it quiet. We knew you'd be upset.
What?
We got back together the day he got hurt at his soccer match. He wanted to tell you, but we all knew you'd just be upset.
So you've just been lying to me for weeks? All of you. Jazz, how am I supposed to trust anything any of you say?
All's fair in love and war.
And with that, she flipped her hair over her shoulder and switched desks. I was devastated. My first real friend. And everything had gotten so messed up. What had I missed? When I saw Ryan walking home from school, I sped up to catch him. What the heck, Ryan? I thought we liked each other. And then you show up like that with Jasmine and totally blindside me.
I didn't know you liked me.
Oh, come on. The ice cream, the flowers. You knew I liked you. There have been several moments and I didn't just imagine that you liked me, too.
I did. but you never said anything.
Well, neither did you.
And then when Jasmine came to me after I got hurt saying she wanted to get back together, why would I turn her down when I wasn't even the one to break up with her?
Like me. Don't like me? Fine. But you could have had the decency to say something before just showing up like that and humiliating me. I deserve better than that. I tried to put on a brave face at school. After all, hadn't I been a lone wolf for my whole life? But I'd gotten so used to having a friend at school that I suddenly felt the absence. Luckily, Chase came to sit by me the first time he saw me sitting alone at lunch. I couldn't see why I'd hated him so much for so long, other than the fact that Jasmine didn't like him. He was so sweet and really smart. Even though I avoided Jasmine and Ryan at all costs, I refused to quit French club. As the weather got nicer, Chase tried to get me to come out to soccer games, parties, concerts. But my sole focus was on school. I was more determined than ever to get one of the spots to go to Paris and prayed that Jasmine wouldn't get the other one. Chase became my favorite study buddy. He was almost as determined as I was for me to win the top spot on the Paris trip. On the last day of school, our report cards came out straight A's. Chase and I got big ice cream sundaes after school to celebrate. As I looked across the table at him, I thought about everything that had happened with Jasmine and Ryan and our whole big group, and I decided I was so glad to have one actual good friend instead of a bunch of not-so-great ones. Afterwards, Chase and I walked down the National Mall as the sun set. So, Mr. Number 1 in the class, how does it feel?
I'm just glad to have beat her, to be honest, especially after everything that happened with you.
I can take care of myself.
I know, but from day one you seemed so nice, and I tried to make friends with you so quickly because I knew she'd come after you right away.
What do you mean?
Jasmine and I have been in the same class since kindergarten. She has always kept the girls she was most afraid of close. You know, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
But I was never her enemy.
She's always been afraid of the smart, pretty girls in our grade. Even if you don't see it, trust me. To her, you were a threat.
Wow, I had no idea. But if I had to go through all that to become friends with you, it was worth it. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was Madame Delacroix. Hello?
Mandy, I'm pleased to inform you that you have been selected for this summer's study abroad in Paris. Pack your bags, mademoiselle. I am so proud.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I mean, merci beaucoup. When we hung up, I squealed. Oh my God! I'm gonna have a stamp in my passport. Suddenly, Chase's phone rang. And when he saw the caller ID, he looked up at me with a gleam in his eye. I could barely contain my excitement. And when he finally said, "Thank you," and hung up, he turned to me with a huge smile.
Looks like I'll have a matching stamp.
Paris? Together? I threw my arms around him, overjoyed to be off on a big adventure with my favorite first real friend.
Hi, I'm Elena from Milan, Italia. Please like and subscribe. I grew up without a dad, but I had a rich mom who owned an international fashion brand. Well, that's also why my parents decided to get divorced, because he couldn't cope with her overambitious nature. But to be honest, I'm not that close with my mom. She doesn't have much time for me, and I usually see her once a month after her overseas trips, when she brings me a gazillion toys. I guess that was her way of making up for the absence, but I wasn't complaining. I spend a lot of time chatting with my stuffed penguin and acting out scenes from the stories I watch on the Luna avatar. But as I grew up, I started noticing how absent my mom was from my life. She rarely took me to school, and of course she'd miss important events there all the time. When I was in 5th grade, I was chosen to play Juliet because of my acting skills. I went home and proudly told my mom, "Mom, you have to be there that day!"
All right, sweetie, I promise.
Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. But by the time she reached school, the play was over.
I'm sorry, honey, I got stuck with something important.
I know, Mom, I can never be as important to you as your work.
Sweetheart, I'm doing this for you. One day this company will be yours.
I don't want to work for your stupid company. Mom, you see, my dream is to become an actress. My drama teacher says I have talent and could become as famous as Margot Robbie someday.
OMG, you're delusional. I'll talk to your teacher about putting such silly ideas into your head. Acting is for losers who've got nothing better to do.
You know, nothing happened because my mom was too busy with her fashion shows and had no time to argue anymore. But the acting bug in me never died. I joined the school's drama club and participated in all kinds of plays. Of course, Mom had no clue about it. Once, when I was 17, I was at the mall and noticed a girl who seemed to be following me. She trailed me from the hair salon to the ice cream shop. always giving me a glare. Thought something was fishy, so I cornered her when I got the chance. What's your problem? Did I do something wrong to you? Or if you want an autograph, just say so.
You're such a witch! Stop flirting with my crush!
She lunged at the girl standing next to me, and I felt more embarrassed than the statue of David.
First, he's not your boyfriend, and second, he's already agreed to go out with me. Grr, if a moron like you hadn't shown up, I would have had a happy relationship.
Hey, don't be so harsh, girl. After helping deal with the stalker, the girl treated me to pizza.
My name's Daisy. Thanks for your help.
Daisy told me about the relationship problem she was facing. She wanted to dump her boyfriend Leo because she'd fallen in love with her new neighbor. New neighbor? Is that the stalker's crush?
Yep.
Your love life is such a mess.
So do you have a BF?
Yes, of course. He's named Jackie. When we first met, it was raining, and he offered me his jacket, and since then I've called him Jackie E. I excitedly told Daisy about the boyfriend in my dreams. Well, by the way, I have a way to help you solve your problem. Pick up the phone and invite your Leo to dinner. Leo was supposed to take Daisy out on a date at a restaurant. Moments after they were seated, I catwalked in with a massive curly wig and the ugliest glasses. The love of my life! The apple pull up my eyes! You said you loved my thick curly hair. Then what are you doing with this witch with a boring ponytail?
Who are you? Do we know each other?
Oh, don't be so cruel, my coochie COO. I know I've put on 25 ounces, but I promised to put in the extra hours at the gym.
Stop it. Daisy, believe me, I've never met this girl before. She's lying.
Please don't dump me. I can accept you having 2 girlfriends, or I can switch to a ponytail. I'm willing to die for you, my precious, but don't call me liar. I know your favorite color is blue. You love dumplings. You still watch Popeye, and you fart when you sneeze. Daisy simply shook her head.
That doesn't prove anything.
I can't believe you've been cheating on me with this thing. I'm done with you.
With that, Daisy marched off before Leo could make sense of what had just happened. I quietly snuck out too. The next day at school, Daisy and I couldn't stop laughing about the whole thing. You're a liar! Don't call me liar.
Thanks. Your acting skills were so sick that Leo didn't try to contact me again. Now I have time to date my new neighbor at home.
On the other side, things were going from bad to worse between Mom and me. She wanted me to focus on studies, but my heart was in theater. I wanted to join an acting school in New York, but she just wouldn't let me. One morning after a heated argument with Mom, I was rushing to my class when I bumped into something rock solid. What the rock? You got buttons for eyes? I looked up and saw Leo.
Oh, I just transferred to this school because I find it hard to stay away from my girlfriend.
Daisy, huh? I thought you two had broken up.
No, I mean, wasn't I your coochie COO just a few days ago? Actually, you did me a favor too. I knew Daisy was going around with another guy while we were dating.
What? And you still dated her? Are you in that case?
Well, I was about to confront her that day, but you, my savior, made things easier. You put up a nice act, by the way.
He gave me a lopsided smile, and for some reason it made my heart flutter. He knew it was me. Leo was actually pretty cute. Then suddenly he was touching my long, silky hair.
Your hair is gorgeous! It's a shame you hid it behind that ugly wig that day!
I blushed and ran straight into the classroom. It felt completely different from the romantic scenes I had acted in. In the following days, I felt like Leo was intentionally bumping into me. I kept running into him in the auditorium, near the lockers, cafeteria, and restroom. Heck, he even agreed to play the role of a rock in the play I was participating in. Of course, that rock never spoke to me once. One day, as I was coming out of the library, I spotted him standing outside, whistling to himself. I felt extremely annoyed by that manner. Are you stalking me? Let's talk, stupid rock!
I could say the same. You were the one falling all over me a few days back.
I angrily walked towards him to give him a piece of my mind, but I slipped on something and landed straight into his arms.
Oh, did you just fall? For me, again?
Before I could respond, he helped me get back on my feet and then gently pulled off the scrunchie I was wearing.
Your hair looks better this way. Free.
Then he simply turned around and left, leaving me stunned.
Oh, stop, Elena! You'll burn a hole in his shirt if you keep staring like that.
Whoa, you scared me, Daisy!
Wow, you really like him. Oh, sorry, you're still in character, aren't you?
What nonsense! He's not my type!
I would have never dumped him if you looked at me the way he was looking at you.
A week later, we had to go to the supermarket to perform our play, and I got my period on the bus. As I was getting off, Leo pulled me aside and wrapped his jacket around my waist. I rushed to the restroom and changed, and when I came out, I found him waiting outside. Even during the entire performance, he kept his gaze on me. Well, Daisy, it seems like I might be falling for Leo a little.
Yes, I knew it, and I know he feels the same about you. Let's ask him out this weekend.
This weekend's my mom's birthday. That weekend, Mom threw a grand party and invited her friends and business partners. It was such a boring party because everyone was being so fussy. But I had to for Mom's sake. As I sat in a corner sipping my juice, I heard a familiar voice.
Hey, actress! I thought there was nothing cool at a party like this.
But why are you here?
I'm here with my dad, and you?
This is my house. Then we chatted by the pool under the moonlight. Leo was smart and witty, and at one point I was about to ask him out when I noticed Mom gesturing to me to meet her outside.
Oh, my Elena, you look gorgeous in the dress from my newest collection.
Cut the drama. Get to the point, Mom.
Leo is your friend, right? His dad owns a big retail chain. If we get a chance to collaborate, our company could really grow. You know what to do. Seduce him.
I almost told her that I was going to, but then I had an idea. Your company, not our company, and I don't like him.
Please, Elena, think about the business, and I want to see our products.
Okay, but then you'll allow me to apply to that acting school. Yeah, it's like catching 2 rabbits with 1 carrot. I can date Leo and pursue my dreams at the same time. The next day, Leo and I started dating. It was pure bliss. He was even better than I had imagined.
You called me a rock? Well, my heart is becoming like a rock because of your beauty.
You're so cheesy, but I like it. Then on my birthday, Leo planned a surprise party for me and invited the entire school. Leo showed up with a huge present. Oh, darling, it's so huge. Let me guess. It's a vase, a stuffed bear, or maybe a guinea pig.
Open it, you'll be surprised.
What? Inside the gift box was just an envelope. I carefully unfolded it. My face turned white when I saw the papers it contained. It was the contract that said his dad's company will be my mom's company's buyer. What the heck?
We performed really well, didn't we, Elena? The goal has been achieved, so we can drop the actress act now.
Leo, I don't understand.
Okay, let me explain, friends. Elena was dating me so she could use me to get my mom to promote her mom's business. I just made her wish come true. That's not true. You know what? I've had enough of your lies. I'm breaking up with you, Elena. Think of this as a parting gift.
Leo left, leaving me completely humiliated. I had to pretend nothing happened to keep everyone from laughing at me. On the way home, I cried as I walked. I had always been confident in my acting skills, but it turned out I was just a fool in my own love scenario. When I got home, I threw the envelope straight at my mom's face.
Hey!
We've achieved our plan. Why don't we throw a party tomorrow? My mom opened the envelope and was thrilled.
Okay, sweetie, time for celebration. Besides Leo, is there anyone else you'd like to invite?
Do whatever you want. We broke up, and tonight I'm going to New York. The acting school accepted my application.
Please don't go, I'll talk to him.
You'll do no such thing! This is the first time I'm leaving home for a foreign city. Not only does it help me forget everything, but it also brings me closer to my dream university. In a few years, my hard work paid off, and I became a popular actress. I even landed the lead role in an upcoming Marvel film. Then one day, I got a call from Mom's doctor who told me her health was deteriorating fast. I rushed back home immediately and found Mom in bed, looking so frail that it shook me. Mom, why did you say you were okay?
I didn't want to bother you, just like how you didn't bother me before. I always thought you were wasting your time with acting, but you've proven me wrong. I'm sorry.
Mom, don't leave me alone!
Don't worry, she was exhausted from work and prolonged stress. But fortunately, we got her to the hospital in time.
I spent my life running after money, and I didn't value the priceless gift life had given me.
I hugged Mom, and it felt amazing. The next day, I went to her office and found out Mom's business had been falling apart for months. But there was one company still buying her products that kept her from completely going bankrupt. Leo's. I decided to meet him and thank him personally. When I went to his office, my heart skipped a beat seeing how handsome he looked.
Elena, it's been a while. You're just as beautiful as ever.
I still feel that spark, something I haven't found with anyone else but Leo. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for helping with my mom's business. But I'm curious, why did you do it? Especially after humiliating me in front of everyone at the birthday party 5 years ago?
Actually, I overheard the conversation between you and your mom at the party, where she asked you to date me. I really love you, But I thought you were just playing a part. I was heartbroken, feeling like the only girl I'd truly loved was messing with my feelings. After all, Daisy told me everything, but it was too late. You had already left. It was all my fault, my selfishness. Maybe it would have been better if I'd just been a rock.
You loved me still, do? Suddenly my heart started racing like never before. Then how about we start all over again?
Done deal. But first I want to do something I've been dying to do since you walked in that door.
Leo leaned closer, and just when I thought he'd kiss me, he pulled off my scrunchie and we both started laughing.
Hi, I'm Maria, and it's time for me to tell you my story. Oh, before get start, please like and subscribe. Lori and I lived in an orphanage in Paris, where the love spreading every corner, from heart-shaped pastries, flower shops, balloons, and even street vendors under the Eiffel Tower. Imagine how sweet it would be to get proposed to in such a romantic place. Yep, love was everywhere except where we lived. My first memory is of the nuns endlessly scolding us.
Hey, stray kittens! Clean the room if you want to have lunch.
What did we do wrong? Why do they hate us so much? Why? We don't have parents?
Don't cry. Everything's gonna be okay.
Lori is 2 years older than me. She's sharp, gorgeous, and super kind. She's right. When we were 10 years old, a wealthy family adopted us. We had an absolutely super awesome life, with family parties, traveling together, and experiencing things we never even dared to dream of before. Dreams are just dreams. One day, my adopted dad's company went under. This caused a huge conflict between my parents, and they continuously blamed each other.
You're such a moron! Why don't you ever listen to me?
Don't you dare trust a woman who knows nothing except a few recipes?
Hey Maria, I bought you a new doll. Let's play with it.
Lori, what's happening? Why is Dad mad at Mom?
Never mind, it's an adult thing.
She immediately took my hand and led me to my room. I knew it wasn't just adult things. Everything was going wrong. I felt like my whole world was about to crash. But one thing I was sure of, Lori would always be by my side, through the highs and lows. What goes around comes around. My parents divorced, and after that, Dad abandoned us to go to Germany. My poor mom realized her mistake and locked herself in her room day after day, and Lori became my reluctant parent.
Time for bed. I said no using your phone before going to sleep.
You're not my mom!
Why did you skip school today? Your teacher called me.
It's none of your business. Are you trying to control me?
Honestly, I've driven Lori crazy. I'm a naughty kid, and she's an inexperienced parent. Aside from that, I'm her dream destroyer. Lori has to study while working a part-time job to raise me. Due to exhaustion, she dozed off during her college entrance exam. At that moment, I felt guilty. My selfishness had ruined her future, so I won't make her sad anymore. I'll study hard, do house chores, and sometimes go on YouTube to learn how to make her favorite dishes.
Oh, it's so yummy. Thank you, sweetie.
A few years later, while working part-time at a nearby bakery, I noticed a handsome, gentle guy staring at me. Feeling uncomfortable, I decided to stare back at him to make him feel shy. OMG, it seems like he's not a noob.
Hey, loser, take your eyes down. Didn't anyone teach you that your behavior is impolite?
He suddenly made some noise.
1 chocolate pastry, please.
Oh, sorry, we've run out of chocolate ones.
What about that ones?
I'm confused and cosplay a statue for a second.
1 chocolate for? Name!
Daniel.
It costs €5.
He gave me 200 and told me to keep the change with a wink.
Nice try, idiot! But if you think you can get my phone number with that, you're wrong! Take the money and get out!
Oh, cooling down! I'm just a generous guy, no man. By the way, your eyes are as beautiful as Aphrodite's.
And then he fled. I wish I could stuff this money into his dirty mouth. Wait, I don't need to do that. I can use the money to buy something for my sister. You know, he didn't make it easy for me. This rich jerk kept coming back every day, and I always noticed he had a bodyguard waiting outside. One day, he came in when the shop was completely empty.
I won't go anywhere until you give me your number.
Okay. Next time I hope you bring some clothes and a toothbrush. Oh, and by the way, the toilet just broke down.
Maria, you know, I'm not a selfish jerk. I'm an awesome guy.
Wrong. If you're so amazing, then why are you acting like a stalker just to get my phone number?
That's because I like tough challenges. Besides, I can't get you out of my mind.
Why don't you use some money to get a brand new head?
I tried, but my hair is just too nice.
I'd rather jump off a cliff than let you carry out any of your intentions, weirdo!
Wow, let's see!
In the weeks that followed, he showed up at the shop with luxury items like the Montmartre crew, cars filling the store, and customers unable to get in. Eventually, my boss got angry and told me to handle the situation, or I'd be fired. Of course, I couldn't lose my job. I had to help Lori with the household expenses. So, I gave in and gave him my phone number, planning to block him afterward. I told my friends what happened, and they all burst out laughing and started showing me pictures of him on the internet. It turned out he wasn't just a rich kid, but also a famous actor. Surprisingly, he wasn't that bad after all. He was insanely romantic. One day, I mentioned I was craving pizza, so he insisted on going to Hawaii for lunch. I thought he managed to get last-minute plane tickets to the US, but it turned out we went by private jet.
You know, Maria, when I first met you and realized you had no idea who I was, I felt truly excited. I intended to show you who I am after you kept letting me down. However, I prefer someone who doesn't know about my reputation.
If you had said something sooner, everything would be better. I thought you were psycho.
I did say let's see, didn't I?
I hesitate to bring Daniel home because of our rundown house and my sick mother. Only when I am sure he truly loves me and accepts me no matter what will he be allowed to visit. I invite Daniel to dinner, and when Lori finds out, she freaks out on me.
Look at you! Maria, you've been spending too much time with him? Men are just trouble and liars. You should focus on your studies to get into a good college instead of dating a flashy guy.
Sis, I'm not a kid anymore. Don't worry, I can handle both. Daniel promised that he will go public with our relationship, and he'll take me to all his events. He will also travel with me wherever we want.
My sister's almost going crazy.
I worked so hard to earn money and gave up my dreams just for you to live in a silly fairy tale with a man? Poor me, my Cinderella.
I'm grateful for everything you've done. You've treated me like a real sister, but I can't keep that in my mind forever. I've made my choice too. Now can you stop worrying about me and go back to school?
Ha ha, Maria, you've lost your mind. You've just met this guy. You're not his first love, and I'm sure you won't be his last. Before long, he'll leave you just like Dad left us. What will you do then, kitten?
It seems like you're jealous of me for having a romantic love. Just leave me alone.
But she didn't give up easily. One day, I came back from a trip to Italy and found Lori waiting for me in the dark.
Sit down.
What the heck? You weirdo, you scared me.
I think you should check this out.
What's this?
Your prince isn't as amazing as you think. I hired a private detective to follow him, and I found something crazy. See for yourself.
Lori threw the phone at me. I couldn't believe she'd go this far. Where did she get the money to do this? On the phone, I saw photos of Daniel at bars with some chicks and screenshots of him replying to other girls' stories on Instagram. That didn't really bother me. But then, I saw a photo of him having dinner with his ex, and they were holding hands. I felt disgusted and almost threw up. I couldn't believe it. Lori was right. Daniel had been on a business trip for 2 weeks. I blocked his number and blocked him on all social media. I also promised Lori I would never see that cheater again, but I missed him. Unable to unblock him, I decided to watch his latest movie. Standing on the sofa, immersed in the film with my favorite large pizza, my tears added a touch of salt. I was crying like a kid. Suddenly, I was startled by something outside the window. Daniel had somehow climbed up to the second-floor window. I quickly opened it before he fell and got hurt. After all, his most valuable asset was his money-making face.
Daniel, what are you doing?
Oh well, I couldn't reach you any other way, and your sister wouldn't let me in through the front door. So, I had to climb up from the first floor. Can you please tell me what's wrong with you?
Do you think I'm stupid? Did you really think I wouldn't find out about your cheating?
What? What are you talking about?
I told you, I know everything you've done, the flirting messages with other girls, and the romantic dinner with your ex.
I threw him the phone with the evidence of his cheating. Surprisingly, Daniel burst out laughing and patted my head.
Oh my darling, you're so naive. They're my cousins. And those messages, they're from a very famous fake account. Every fan knows that account is a fake.
All right, what about the private dinner?
Oh, actually, I was set up. I got a call from someone claiming to be a famous director who wanted to meet with me for his upcoming blockbuster film. So I went, and it turned out that my ex received a similar call. Because her dad had just passed away, I was holding her hand to soothe her. I didn't realize that it would turn into such a stupid picture that would make you upset.
Huh? You think I would believe your words?
Of course, I still have evidence.
He walked closer to me and showed me a video recording of the entire conversation. Everything he said was true.
By the way, where did you get those stupid pictures? Did you hire someone to follow me?
Daniel leaned in close to my face.
You're delusional! They were thrown straight at me. Don't think I'm blinded by jealousy.
Darling, you're right, but you're crying because of me!
Because of your film exactly.
I hit him with a pillow, and he laughed with delight. Then he hugged me. The next day, while Lori was cooking, I approached her and told her everything. But she seemed really weird.
And you believe him? You're so naive. Maria?
At least he's more reliable than you or that stupid detective. He's an honest man who loves and cares for me. Why do you always judge him? Why are you trying to break us up?
You're my sister! I only care about you!
Lori sighed and walked over to me.
You're right. I think I can give him a chance. I was just trying to protect you. I'm afraid you'll be hurt like you were in the orphanage and when Dad abandoned us.
I thought everything was going well, and God was on my side. But soon after, everything exploded right in front of my face. One morning, while I was watching the news, I saw a photo of Daniel being arrested alongside a notorious mafia boss.
Top celeb accused of smuggling drugs? Could this be the end of his career and life?
I'm trembling, but then I suddenly realize Lori is standing behind the chair with a smug smile.
Lori!
My scream shakes the house as I lunge at Lori. Even Mom is startled and runs outside when she sees us brawling on the floor.
You're a jerk! How dare you humiliate Daniel and throw him into jail!
Oh, calm down, stray cat. I did this just for you.
Just for me? Liar! Destroying my relationships in someone's life? How could you do this? Did Daniel do something wrong to you? You're a devil in disguise!
Lori's face turned red, and she started yelling.
Your problem is that you think you deserve to go off and live your fairy tale life with your rich, perfect boyfriend while I've sacrificed everything for you. What? Am I just supposed to stay here and take care of our sick mom? After giving up all my dreams and everything for you? This is how you repay me? Ungrateful thing!
Finally! You admitted it! You're just a spiteful, jealous, and selfish person!
She lunged at me again. Our horrifying fight continued until both of us were bruised. And eventually, my mom intervened. I ran away and locked myself in my room. How could I ever tell Daniel that it was my own sister who had sent him to prison and ruined his family's reputation? I tried to call Daniel, but all connections seemed to be blocked. I was desperate and locked myself in my room. The next few days, while I was in my room, I heard police sirens outside. Mom and I quickly came out of the room, only to see the police taking Lori away.
You will be detained for creating false evidence to frame someone else. You have the right to remain silent.
Lori, I didn't do this.
I know, Maria, I did it.
Lori confessed. But why? I rushed to the prison to meet her.
Why did you do this?
I couldn't bear to see you suffer. Ever since I was young, I was abandoned. And even when I had parents, my father left too. I feared that one day you would leave with your guy, and I would be left alone and in pain. I was truly envious and selfish. Daniel made you happy, and you deserve that.
Didn't say a word. I knew Lori truly regretted what she had done and was now facing the consequences. I thought I would never see Daniel again and that he would stay away from me forever. But one day, we ran into each other by chance on the street. We started dating, and he proposed to me under the Eiffel Tower. We had a dream wedding, and I felt like I had a truly happy family.
Hi, I'm Adele, and I live with my parents in France. Please like and subscribe. My dad named me Adele, which means beautiful like a star. He never loved anyone in the world as much as he loved me. And I guess this is why my own mom never liked me very much. Once in second grade, my geography teacher, Ms. Diana, started screaming at a poor girl, and I just hated that she was such a bully. When she was done, she turned to us and said,
"Okay, class, so now I think I should
jump off a bridge." And the whole class laughed.
Adele, what is this behavior? I'll send you to the principal.
And I'll send you to Antarctica. My dad is a travel agent.
How dare you threaten me? You should never threaten people like that.
Sorry, Diana. I thought it was funny.
You should never call your teachers by their first name. This isn't funny.
And the complaint letter was sent to my parents. Mom was furious. But Dad couldn't stop laughing at the statements I'd made in class.
Adele, I know you were defending a girl, but we should always respect our teachers. Darling.
You shout at me if I spill coffee by mistake, but anything Adele does is fine by you. You'd forgive her if she ever killed someone.
Oh God, honey, do you always have to be so melodramatic? How can you compare yourself to a kid and she's really funny?
Mom just stormed off angrily. And since that day, I started noticing she'd always talk to me rudely. A few weeks later, it was Dad's birthday, and I went down that evening in a beautiful new dress. The minute Dad got home, I ran towards him. Dad, my new dress! Am I pretty? And then, Mom pushed me aside and showed Dad the watch she'd bought for him. But Dad ignored her completely and picked me up instead.
My princess, no one can look more beautiful than you. Look what I've brought for you.
Chocolate! Barbies! Wow, Mom! See the gifts Dad got for me! But Mom angrily turned away and left. Why was she always like this? I forgot all about her as soon as Dad and I started to play. And we played a lot! The next morning at breakfast, Mom came downstairs rocking a dress that was so slay. And she walked in front of Dad.
How do I look, darling? Come, let's dance in this romantic weather.
Dad spat out his coffee and burst out laughing.
That was a really good joke, but could you go do something more usual now? It's freezing and you'll get sick and cause trouble for everyone.
He just went back to reading his newspaper. And I saw Mom's face turn red. I felt a bit sorry for her, but why was she acting so silly? She was obviously furious at Dad, but she took it out on me by not giving me dessert that day. And this time, I was angry at her. Give me dessert now!
Nope, don't feel like it. Go ask your dad.
I went to the kitchen and climbed onto a stool to reach the cookie jar on the top of the fridge. But I accidentally knocked it down and broke it with a loud crash. Mom came rushing in and started shouting at me.
You're such a brat. Look at this mess you made. You're going to clean it up.
But I just ran out of there and headed straight to the phone. Hello, Dad? Mom is saying that she hates me and I look like an ugly panda. Dad called Mom back and yelled at her, and I did a happy dance. Years passed, and I grew up to be a beautiful girl. Every time Dad or anyone praised my beauty, Mom looked jealous. By now, it was clear she completely resented me. By the time I reached 11th grade, I discovered my love for acting, and I'd taken part in all of the school plays. But there was a mean girl in my class who was always competing with me for the lead roles. Ashley, I'd usually beat her to them, and she wasn't very fond of me. One day in the cafeteria, I saw Ashley bullying this shy kid named Olivier. She walked up to him with her boyfriend and took off his thick glasses, snapping them in half.
Oh, look at him crying like a kid. Mommy, Mommy, save me from Ashley.
Olivier's eyesight was so weak that he couldn't see anything. As he tried to get away, Ashley stuck out her leg and he tripped. He would have landed on his face, but I caught him just in time. Then I picked up a chair and shouted at Ashley, "You touch him again, and I'll hit your head so hard, your tiny little brain will come out."
How dare you threaten me, witch?
And suddenly, she jumped on me, and we broke out into a huge fight. Some teachers came running and pulled us apart, and their moms were called to the school immediately.
These girls were fighting like wild dogs. It's unacceptable behavior.
My daughter could never do this. She's the greatest child in the world.
Oh, yes. I'm sure it was Adele's fault. She's the worst child in the world. You poor baby. How badly hurt is she? Adele should definitely be punished.
This is the last warning to you girls.
Don't be weak. Why are you letting Adele off with a warning? You should suspend her. You can even throw her out of school.
Mom, the principal actually suspended me for 3 days, and I was furious. When we got home, Dad was already there, and she started complaining to him immediately.
See what your amazing daughter has done? She's suspended from school because she beat a girl so badly for no reason. She nearly sent her into a coma.
Shut up! Don't talk rubbish! Adele isn't crazy enough to hurt someone like that.
Yes, Dad! Mom is lying! And she told the principal to suspend me. Ashley jumped on me and I just pulled her hair. How could she go into a coma from that? Hearing this, Dad was furious at Mom, and they broke into the worst fight of their lives. Mom smashed half the plates in her house. She was crazy. A few days later, something was published in the news that left everyone really surprised in school. It was a picture of Olivier with his dad, who happened to be a world-famous movie director. Everyone knew Olivier's dad, but until now, no one had known Olivier was his son because he'd never mentioned it. And suddenly, everyone's attitude towards Olivier changed completely. He was surrounded by girls all the time. I also liked him, but I just see him from a distance. Even Ashley the witch apologized to him one day. He forgave her, and after that, the two would be hanging out together so often. A week later, it was Valentine's Day, and I came to know that Ashley had dumped her boyfriend. She walked over to Olivier in the cafeteria and said,
"This rose is for the most handsome boy in the world. Will you be my Valentine?"
No boy ever refused Ashley because she was so pretty. But to my shock, Olivier just took the rose from her and walked over to me.
I've been waiting to do this since the first time we've met. And what day is better than Valentine's? You're the prettiest, loveliest girl ever. Will you go out with me, Adele?
Yes, of course. Yes. Then he lifted me into his arms and twirled me around as everyone cheered for us. Ashley was so embarrassed and angry, she ran away from there crying. I started enjoying my relationship with Olivier. He'd pick me up from my place, and then we'd go to parks and malls. I could see Mom's jealous face whenever I'd come back with gifts. One day, she said, "Is this what you go to school for? Focus on your studies." Don't I already get the highest grades? That boy, Olivier, isn't good for you. How can you say that? You don't even know him. His dad and I were in the same college, and he is a horrible, dishonest man. Wow, you'll just make up anything, won't you? You know what, I think you're just jealous because you never got what I have. I started ignoring Mom completely after that. She couldn't stand to see me happy. And that was her problem, not mine. I graduated from high school, and Olivier and I decided to get engaged before we both headed off for college. We had a small engagement dinner with his parents and mine, but just as he was about to put the ring on my finger, Mom suddenly jumped up from her seat. No, I can't stay quiet and just watch Adele. I have proof that this boy is no good. Look at this picture of him kissing this girl. Won't you believe me now? I warned you about him and his whole family. Mom, just stop. That girl is Olivier's cousin, and I know her. You've proved nothing except that you're a crazy psycho who's been stalking my boyfriend. Everyone was staring at us, and the whole evening was ruined. When we got home, I turned to Dad. She ruined one of the happiest days of my life, Dad. Thank God. I'm leaving for university tomorrow.
Not just you, darling. I'm leaving too. I've stayed with this mad woman just for you. But now you're all grown up and ready to go, and so am I. I need some peace in my life.
And with that, we both left home the next day, hoping to never see Mom again. A few months later, Dad told me he was getting married again, and I was really happy for him. After Olivier and I graduated from university, we decided to get married. I didn't want Mom to ruin my big day, so I didn't invite her. But to my shock, Dad didn't come either. He just sent me a huge wedding present with a note.
Sorry I couldn't make it, honey, but I can't leave my wife and newborn son alone right now. Love you, and hope you have an amazing day.
That was a big blow to my heart. He'd never ignored me before, and I was so angry at him. I called him, but he didn't even pick up. Olivier's dad soon signed me on for a movie, and the very first one was a success. I shot to fame fast, and was soon traveling all over the world for shootings and premieres. I was away often, and over time, I felt Olivier was growing really distant from me. Like once I was in town on my birthday, and all he did was laze around on the couch as usual and watch football all day. Olivier, today's day is over. It was my birthday? And you didn't even wish me a happy birthday.
Oh, I forgot. Happy birthday, dear.
And then he just turned his face to the TV again. This kind of stuff happened all the time, and I felt invisible. And sometimes it made me think of how Dad must have made Mom feel, and how I'd never realized it before. To distract myself, I worked even harder. And within a year, I was nominated for a big award. But Olivier didn't even show up to the award ceremony. And when I got home, I found him having a huge party at our place.
Oh, I thought you were out of town. Babe, come meet my friends.
Out of town? I was at the award ceremony, and you weren't there.
That was today? And why did I need to be there, Adele? Did you need me to carry around that tiny award for you?
Do you even care about me? Or am I just a money-earning machine for you? You don't even have a job, and all you do is spend my hard-earned money.
Your hard-earned money? Anything you are today is because of my dad and my connections. And look at you now, acting all high and mighty with your award and your expensive dress, which, by the way, looks awful on you.
Everyone in the room looked at us. I was embarrassed like never before. Suddenly, the scene of Dad laughing at Mom and insulting her flashed before my eyes. And it was the worst feeling in the world. Really? You made me. Then why couldn't you make something of yourself, you useless potato? Saying that, I just pushed him aside and stormed off to my room. I could hardly sleep that night. I was so angry at Olivier and at Dad. The next morning, I woke up to a message on my phone. It was from my bank saying that all the money from my account had been withdrawn. What the heck? Olivier, you took all my money? Why did you even need such a big amount?
I had some debts to pay off. Partying can be expensive, man. You'd know if you ever had fun.
What? You're the biggest jerk ever. I wish I'd let Ashley have you. You deserved her.
Yeah, she was prettier, but whatever. Get lost now.
I grabbed him by the collar and punched him hard. Just then, The cops arrived at our door because I'd already called them and reported him for theft. He left shouting and screaming, and it was the best I'd felt in years. And then I left to see my mom. When I arrived at my old house, Mom was completely stunned to see me.
Oh my God, Adele, it's been so long. You're even more beautiful than I remember.
And suddenly I just burst into tears and ran to hug her tight. She asked me what was wrong, and I told her everything. I'm so sorry, Mom, for never realizing how Dad made you feel, for not listening to you about Olivier. You warned me, but I grew up never trusting you to be happy for me.
It's not really your fault, Adele. All those years, I was angry at your dad, and I took it out on you by never showing you affection. It's taken me years to get over my resentment and realize I should never have ruined my relationship with you, or for someone who never loved me at all.
I'm here now, Mom. Do you think we can start over?
I've been waiting to hear those words for so long, my darling.
Hello, I'm Lily, hailing from Florida. Please like and subscribe. Throughout my life, I've enjoyed a typical routine centered around 3 essentials: food, friends, and basketball. When I reached 14, I realized I wanted to join my high school team.
Girls playing basketball. Please.
I threw the ball at them to show them my skills. But right then, this girl walked in its path.
You missed. You do better as a cheerleader.
I ignored them and rushed over to her. I am so sorry. Are you okay?
No worries, I'm fine. But guess what? I know the combinations to their lockers. I noticed how those jerks were behaving, and I was actually on my way to confront them.
Yeah, those boys make me so mad.
But I say don't get mad, get ants!
Daisy and I filled their jerseys and couldn't help but laugh as we watched them squirm and swat while trying to explain to the coach.
I'm Daisy, by the way. Nice to meet you.
I'm Lily. We've been partners in mischief ever since, making prank calls to our classmates and baking cupcakes with gummy worms for the bake sale just to irritate the snooty girls. Typical high school antics. However, things changed when I reached my sophomore year. One day, I was running late for class but desperately needed to use the restroom. As I exited the stall, I encountered this stunning, dark-haired boy with the most captivating green eyes. This is the ladies' room.
Scusi?
Sushi in the bathroom? Then he pointed to the wall, and I realized I was in the wrong place. Oops, I was in such a rush. Hey, you must be one of the exchange students. Where are you from?
Italia.
Oh, do you speak any, English? Well, I know some Italian too. Una mattina mi sono alzato. Oh, bella. Ciao, bella. Ciao, bella. Ciao, 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 ciao.
Who told you that if you slow down and speak louder that someone will understand your language better?
Oh, so you're a comedian? Well, do you understand sign language? 'Cause I've got a gesture for you. Relax, everyone. I'm keeping it PG. Talk to the hand.
Oh, don't be like that. Just thought you were cute and I was messing with you. Don't go.
I stormed out, but he grabbed my hand to stop me, knocking my phone on the floor. And when we both went to pick it up, I accidentally headbutted him on the way back up.
Ow, I think you broke my nose.
Just then the bell rang, and I couldn't be late again to Miss Sanders' class. Sorry, I don't have a tissue, but this tampon may help. You'll be fine. I made it to class 15 seconds after the bell rang, and I couldn't wait to tell Daisy. But just as I was about to give her the deets, he walked in.
Class! I'd like to welcome one of our new exchange students. Holy moly.
She asked if anyone would volunteer to take him to the nurse, and Daisy's hand shot up in the air like a rocket. But Miss Dander pointed at me.
Since you were late to your seat, perhaps you need a lesson in thinking of others, not just yourself.
Come on, holy moly, let's get you all better. As I walked into the nursery's office, he kept trying to talk to me.
I'm Billy, so
But I knew like this I might fall for his charms. So I panicked and pinched his arm to get him to stop talking.
Ow!
Oh look, here we are, bye. And after school, all the girls, even Daisy, started gushing about how gorgeous Billy was.
I mean, even with his nose all bandaged up, he's so dreamy.
The next day, I was having lunch with Daisy when we saw Billy talking up some of the cheer squad. I bet he loves the attention. Ugh, he's such a flirt. Then we heard a familiar voice behind us.
Yes, he is.
Am I having the side effects of today's lunch food, or is he in 2 places at once?
Oh, that's my twin brother. You're Blaine.
Daisy and I were both shocked. I was glad Billy wasn't a flirt. But then my brain was working overtime on a plan as Blaine walked towards Daisy. Billy for me. Blaine for Daisy. Woohoo! We'd be one big family. I gave Daisy an encouraging look, signaling her to talk to Blaine, but she didn't utter a word.
Blaine, this is Daisy and Lily. Hey, Lily.
Not only do they look alike, they sound the same too.
So you're the one I can thank for making me the better-looking twin.
It looked like the entire cheer squad agrees with you. So Blaine, you know if you want to pass your classes you need a study buddy. I mean, Daisy here is a whiz. Right, Daisy?
Yeah, let's have a study group. We'll meet you guys at the library after school tomorrow.
As we walked away, I turned to Daisy. Oh my God, did you see how Blaine was staring at you?
I don't know, Lily. I just met him.
So the next day, I gave Daisy an awesome makeover, and I added 12 more layers of lip gloss when trying for the 13th layer. This gloss will last for a whole week. Now let's go. Our study date was amazing. I found out that Billy was really sweet. I talked to him all the time, and Daisy kinda looked happy with Blaine too. Then one day, I hopped to the store to grab snacks for our library session, and as I was reaching for the top shelf, I felt someone slap me on the butt. No way was I gonna let some random weirdo do that. So I whipped around and went full demon karate girl on the guy. But as I kicked him, I realized it was Blaine.
Ow!
What the heck, dude? He pointed to a cockroach on the floor that apparently had been crawling on my butt. You could have just told me.
Okay, but you should be thankful.
Thankful? You should apologize to me.
Ha, why don't you just leave?
You can't tell me to leave. This isn't your family store. You know, my dad could buy this store for me with a snap of his fingers.
Oh, really? My family is richer than yours. We use $100 bills as napkins, and I have even more money in my piggy bank than you have in your entire bank.
He waved his card at me before he put it in his back pocket. I sneakily swapped it with my library card when I purposely knocked into him. Walked out of the store, huh? Not for long. I was the first one to arrive at the library, and just as I reached for the book, I felt a hand sweep across mine. It was Billy. But I turned around too quickly, and the book fell on his head.
You had to pick the biggest book in the library.
Well, what's up with the sneak attack?
I thought I could admire your pretty face in secret.
Really? Now? I hope my pretty face doesn't blind you. He laughed and we talked about basketball. Suddenly, his eyes twinkled and he leaned closer to me. My heart raced as I realized he was gonna kiss me. And just then, he sneezed right on my face. He quickly tore some pages out of the book and handed it to me. Ew, yuck!
I'm so sorry. Here, wipe your face on that.
And what's worse, the librarian saw us and threw us out. Just then, he pulled the tape off of his nose. Blaine, you jerk!
Sorry, Billy's not gonna make it today. He's with Mom, so I decided to pay you back for the card switcheroo you pulled on me. You can imagine how embarrassing it was. Try to pay for food with my library card.
Blaine held up my card, but as I went to grab it, he moved and held it above his head so I couldn't reach it.
What's the matter? You can't take it out of my hand?
You forget, I'm a basketballer. I tackled him to the ground.
Jeez, girl, you've got moves.
Don't try to butter me up now that I've taken you down. I'm serious.
You know, my dad's got connections with sports agents. If you want me to set you up with a meeting, but it has to wait, 'cause I'm enjoying this closeness with you.
Oh my God, is he flirting with me?
We
were trying to get up from the floor, but my foot twitched and I fell, causing Blaine to go over me. Then he touched my face. Wait, stop! I like Billy. Or do I? Or I like Blaine. I'm so confused. Guys, help me out here. What should I do? And we kissed. You guys did say kiss him, right? It was amazing. But I pulled away when I remembered Daisy was supposed to be with Blaine. Too late, though, because she showed up just in time to see us kiss.
What's going on? I thought you...
She looked so betrayed. I couldn't think of anything better, so I faked a stomachache. Ugh, it's bad tacos. I dashed off, but Daisy had enough and she ran after me.
Don't you dare run away. Just tell me, why did you kiss him?
It wasn't a kiss. We were. He was giving me CPR.
What?
Yeah. Remember when I puked in Miss Dander's exam? I had just found out that I had cancer. And today I fainted. So he was helping me. I kept it to myself, not wanting anyone to pity me. But Daisy, how could you think of me like that? I felt bad for lying, but I truly didn't want to ruin our friendship. I would have to cover up for now, but soon I would tell her the truth, and we could laugh about it.
Oh my God, Lily, I'm so sorry. I was so wrong. Please forgive me.
Seriously? You're using my shirt as a snot wiper? The next day at school, Blaine brushed his hand against mine as he walked by. My heart skipped a beat. I was confused about why I didn't feel the same around Billy. I shrugged it off and looked for Daisy.
What do you need? You want to hold my hand? A bottle of water!
See? This is why I didn't tell you. I don't want you to treat me any differently. And don't tell anyone either.
Okay, you got it, bestie. I have an idea. Why don't we go to my family's cabin by the lake this weekend? We can have a fun slumber party like we used to.
Absolutely! That weekend, Daisy picked me up. But when we got home to the cabin, I was shocked to see Billy and Blaine were already there.
Surprise! I thought now you could have Billy, and I'll just hang out with Blaine.
I was so on edge around Billy and Blaine, we unpacked our stuff and we were about to make dinner when Billy grabbed the pan.
I'll be making a special dinner for someone special tonight. I don't think anyone wants food poisoning, so I'll be making dinner tonight for my special lady. Oh, really? Your special lady? You have no idea what me and Lily have. So you better shut your pie hole or I'll do it for you.
Daisy was stunned, and Billy took a tampon out of his pocket and shoved it in Blaine's ear.
A tampon? I knew you punched her like a girl, but this is a whole other level. Actually, it was a gift from Lily, so I'd like it back.
I was supposed to spend the weekend with my friend, forget about boys, and get everything back to normal. But instead, everything was falling apart. So I just snuck out for some time to think. I must have walked for a while because I wound up on a road that clearly hadn't been used in months. Then suddenly, I heard a woman yelling for help. As I approached, I saw a woman on the ground. I rushed over to help. "Are you okay?" I knelt down to see that her foot had been badly injured and was stuck in a hole. "Hold still. I think I can use a branch to pry you loose." I freed her from the hole and took her to the hospital for treatment. But she needed blood, and luckily, I was a match. When she woke up, she called me over.
You are an angel. I would have surely been there for a month if you hadn't saved me. If I had a daughter, she'd be just like you.
As she hugged me, I fought back the tears, thinking of how much I missed having my mom around. No matter what you do or how rich you are, there's no replacement for a mother's love.
My sons forgot their undies, so I tried Google Maps to reach them, but I got lost. I just called them, and they should be here soon. You know, I am so proud that nothing can come between them. And they are always together and take such good care of me.
Just then, Daisy, Billy, and Blaine showed up.
Mom!
Wait, these are your sons? Blaine rushed for medicines and Billy came to hug me.
I was so worried about you. I'm glad you're okay.
But as I hugged him, I realized I was looking over his shoulder with my eyes glued to Blaine. It was then I knew that Blaine was the one, and also that I would have to give him up. I whispered in Billy's ear, "I care so much about you, both of you, but I need to let you both go."
Why? I don't understand.
I can't be the reason that anything comes between you two. Just reminded me how important family is. Please tell Blaine for me. My lie got busted when the doctor told them that I gave the blood. And Daisy heard it and looked so disappointed. I couldn't face Daisy, so I ran away and decided to escape to Europe and complete my high school years there. Something my dad had always wanted me to do. But before leaving, I sent a long email to Daisy apologizing for not being the friend she deserved and telling her my true feelings for Blaine. Then, with tears in my eyes, I deleted all the accounts, knowing that I'd never be able to tell Blaine how I felt. It hurts bad, but I thought it was just better for all of us. Years later, I had graduated from medical college and came back home to set up my pediatric practice. I had only been open for a few weeks when Billy and Daisy walked in with their twin baby girls.
We heard you were back in town and we needed a good pediatrician.
And you thought of me. She gave me a shove so hard that we both started bawling and ended up hugging. Through her tears, she told me how much she'd been missing me. Have you both forgiven me?
Of course, Lily. I mean, after all, you're the reason we wound up together. We realized how much we had in common and love blossomed from there. We sent you a wedding invitation but never heard back.
I had all my mail forwarded to my dad's house. I still haven't gone through any of it, but I'm sorry I missed it. I'm sure it was beautiful.
Well, you have an open invitation to come by anytime to look at the wedding album.
She'll take any excuse to break that out and show people we've gone through 3 mailmen.
Oh, sweetie!
That night, I swung by my dad's old house to go through all the mail and find the invitation. But what I found instead shocked me to my core. Hundreds of letters from Blaine. Once I started reading them, I was so happy. He had been waiting for me and writing to me all these years, telling me how much he loved me. I Googled the return address on the letters and rushed over to his house and banged on the door excitedly. "Blaine, I know it's late, but you're not going to believe I just got all your letters." The door opened and my heart pounded. I went to hug him but stopped suddenly when I saw a beautiful girl had answered the door.
Can I help you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Lily, just an old friend of Blaine's, and I just stopped by to say, hi.
He's not home right now, but do you want me to tell him that you stopped by?
I was crushed. My heart sank to the bottom of my chest, and I could barely get the words out. No, thank you. I stopped my car at the basketball court at my high school. I was so heartbroken that I just sat and cried until I felt someone behind me. It was Blaine.
What's the matter? Did you try to buy food with a library card? 'Cause I can tell you from personal experience that doesn't work.
I got your letters, but I'm too late.
Well, I'm no expert, but I think ghosting someone for a few years does qualify as very late.
Blaine took my hand. How did you find me here?
When my mom's assistant said you were at the door, I figured I'd find you here.
I felt a wave of relief wash over me, knowing about her. I'm so sorry, Blaine, and I can't find the words to say how much I
love you too, Lily.
We were leaning in for a kiss when a basketball suddenly came flying our way. Blaine grabbed it, tossing it to me.
Care for a little match, Lily?